Picture an absolutely epic, high-stakes battle happening inside your body right this very second. Seriously, imagine it like a classic stickman animation. You've got your brave, hard-working stickman soldiers, which is your immune system, standing guard at the gates. And on the other side, a constant, relentless barrage of foreign invaders trying to break those gates down. This explainer is all about how you can stop accidentally sabotaging your own troops and start giving them the exact reinforcements they need to thrive.
Okay, let's dive right into this, because this is a question so many of us are asking right now. Why do we feel so sluggish all the time? Why does it seem like the second the seasons change, we instantly catch a cold or just feel totally drained? We usually blame external things, right? The weather, stress at work, but the real answer isn't happening on the outside. It's actually a structural breakdown happening on the inside, right on the front lines of your internal battlefield.
And that brings us to this incredibly staggering number. According to health expert Dr. Sajeev Nair, over 50% of your immune cells are actually deployed right inside your gut. Yeah, you heard that right. More than half of your body's entire defense force is stationed right there in your digestive tract. They aren't just floating around randomly. They're strategically positioned because your gut is the main entry point for the outside world. Literally everything you eat, every single drop you drink, it all has to pass through this exact checkpoint.
To really wrap our heads around this, Dr. Nair uses this brilliant metaphor. Think of your gut lining as the ultimate fortress wall. Imagine those little stickman immune warriors standing shoulder to shoulder along this massive barrier. Their one and only job is to look at everything coming down the digestive pipeline and make a split-second decision. Is this a friend or is this a foe? Now, when the wall is strong, they can easily repel the invaders. But if that wall gets breached, absolute chaos. You see, the integrity of that fortress wall heavily depends on who is actually living inside your gut microbiome. It's literally a turf war between the good bugs, our allies who help digest our food and reinforce the wall, and the bad bugs. And these bad bugs, they are the villains. If they manage to take over, they start sending out toxic signals, they break down the fortress, and they completely confuse your immune army. And guess who ultimately decides which side wins? You do.
So what exactly feeds the villains? Well, here are the prime suspects. Processed junk food and artificial additives. That's basically like dropping toxic bombs on your own soldiers. Then we have seed oils, which advanced biohackers have shown can wreak absolute havoc on your metabolism and trigger massive inflammation. But look at that last one, unchewed food. We almost never think about this. But when you swallow massive unchewed chunks of food, you are throwing a huge logistical nightmare straight at your gut. Because when you drop those villains into your digestive system, your immune cells literally have to abandon their posts just to deal with the giant mess you've created. Dr. Nair points out that when your internal soldiers are completely distracted fighting off the inflammatory foods you just ate, they aren't looking out for the real threats. They leave the gates wide open, and that is exactly when a random throat infection slips in or why you're suddenly hit with overwhelming fatigue. Your body is literally wasting all its energy just trying to fight your lunch. And this brilliantly illustrates how incredibly simple the fix can be. Before we even talk about advanced supplements or biohacks, Dr. Nair recommends this one fundamental habit. Just take a normal bite of food and force yourself to chew it 20 to 40 times. You want to swallow it only when it becomes completely liquid in your mouth. Doing this gives your digestive enzymes the time they actually need to work. It takes all that massive stress off your gut and lets your immune soldiers go back to doing their actual jobs instead of forcing them to act like a glorified garbage disposal. Section 1. Biohacking your microbiome, building the arsenal. So once we finally stop dropping bombs on our own fortress, how do we actively supply our troops? Let's take a look at the foundational habits and the exact right kind of fuel. Longevity expert Brian Johnson calls these the power laws of health. He makes a really great point that people in the wellness space just love to argue endlessly over highly esoteric, super complicated treatments. But almost everyone completely ignores the basics that literally all the experts agree on: getting a good night's sleep, eating clean, whole foods, and exercising on a daily basis. If your stickman army is sleep-deprived and totally sedentary, no amount of expensive magic pills is going to save them. You absolutely have to start here. Even Brian Johnson himself, a guy who tests his microbiome every 6 months and has a decade of data, admits that even top experts don't fully know how to read all the metrics perfectly yet. But despite all that complex data, his actual daily strategy is surprisingly straightforward.
He eats a massive amount of high-quality fiber, he takes prebiotics and postbiotics, and he regularly consumes fermented foods. This is the exact supply drop your good bugs need to multiply and fortify that gut wall. And honestly, one of the best ways to get that high-quality fiber might actually surprise you.
Enter the unexpected hero, tapioca, also known locally as cassava or yucca. If you're looking for an amazing energy source that won't trigger inflammation or secretly attack your gut lining, this traditional root vegetable is an absolute powerhouse for your internal army.
Just look at tapioca's arsenal. It's absolutely packed with dietary fiber, meaning it feeds those good bacteria without putting a heavy burden on your digestion, which makes it super great for alleviating things like constipation. It's also rich in calcium and magnesium, providing real structural strength to your bones. Plus, it is 100% gluten-free. So for anyone who suffers from allergies or gut distress when eating wheat or maida, tapioca provides a perfectly safe, high-energy carb that won't distract your immune warriors for a second. Section 2. Heavy reinforcements, peptides, and elite probiotics. But what happens if the wall is already broken? What if your gut has been severely compromised for years? Well, let's explore some of the more advanced tools in the biohacking space used for serious, heavy-duty repairs.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is a compound called BPC 157. In the biohacking community, this is a highly discussed peptide that you can actually take as an oral capsule. When a gut is super leaky and having constant immune reactions, BPC 157 is known to help patch up those holes in the fortress wall. It significantly reduces bloat and restores energy. It essentially acts like an elite repair crew for your internal barriers. However, the experts are incredibly clear on this one strict rule: lifestyle first, peptides second. BPC 157 is just an adjunct. If you're chronically unwell, jumping straight to advanced peptides without fixing your foundation might actually inflame things even further. You have to clear the toxins out of your body, deal with your daily inflammation, and fix your nutrition first. Only then can these heavy reinforcements actually give you the targeted repair you're looking for. Alongside peptides, a damaged gut also needs the right troops sent in. But here's the catch. Most standard probiotics completely die in your harsh stomach acid before they ever even reach the battlefield. That's exactly why experts recommend elite spore-based probiotics, like the brand Just Thrive. It is clinically proven to arrive 100% alive right at the gut wall. It even survives antibiotics and has been shown to help heal a leaky gut in just 30 days. It practically turns your digestive tract into a literal antioxidant factory. So the crucial point is this: protecting your immune system army really requires a dual approach. You have to actively stop the damage and then intentionally provide the right nourishment. We've got to stop falling for snacks labeled as healthy when they're actually just packed with inflammatory seed oils and refined sugars. We need to push back against processed artificial foods and get back to real, clean, ancestral ingredients that actually nourish our physiology and let our internal soldiers do their job. Which brings us to our final thought. The battle for your health, your energy, and your immunity isn't some big mystery. It's happening right now at the fortress wall of your gut lining. Every single bite of food you take is a decision to either send in reinforcements or to fund the enemy. So I'm going to leave you with this question to carry with you today. What will you feed your internal army for your very next meal? Choose wisely, chew thoroughly, and give your body the defense it deserves. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you guys next time.